All right, so next we're gonna do egg bites. And these are one of those really simple meals. You may or may not have had something similar at coffee shops. They're pretty popular. And sometimes we don't realize just how easy they are to make ourselves. And they're something that you can make ahead and then have. I usually recommend you don't make more than 4 days of them at a time. They actually don't keep as long as you think they do. We're gonna go for a really low-fat, low-cholesterol version. So we're using low-fat cottage cheese, liquid egg whites. I use liquid egg whites for 2 reasons. The first reason is that it's a whole lot easier than separating a bunch of eggs, right? Separating eggs can be kind of slimy and it's really time consuming, so this is easy. This is not the least expensive version, but it is a really convenient version. Also, these are pasteurized, so anytime, I actually have a baking and pastry background. I always use pasteurized egg whites just because they are safer if you're gonna eat them without cooking them. So we're gonna cook them today though. And this is probably one of the easiest recipes to do. We're gonna do them a few different ways. In fact, we're gonna bring you guys up here. Stephanie, I don't know if you wanna give them kind of the rules and where they can stand. So we're gonna bring you up here and I'm gonna show you all the steps to do this, and you guys can actually give us an idea of what kind you wanna try tonight, because we've got a few different vegetable options. We'll make them, we're gonna cook them, and then you guys can try them at the end. So I'm gonna give you a little tip on cottage cheese. I have to be honest, I did not like cottage cheese until probably the last 2 years. It was a texture thing for me. It wasn't that I really didn't like the taste, but I didn't love the texture. So but it's really high in protein. And if you get the low-fat version, it's really low in fat. So a way that you can blend your cottage cheese, if it's a texture thing for you as well, is to put it in a blender and whip it up. Then you have a whipped cottage cheese that's more like a thinner cream cheese than it is cottage cheese. So you don't have the curds like you have right now. Some people don't even like that name, curd. It used to kind of gross me out.
And also,
like
you know, if you have the oats and cottage cheese, you can make oatmeal pancakes.
Yes.
You can make oatmeal pancakes. So it's like a cottage cheese, oats, egg, and you can add vanilla extract, whatever you want, and just blend it up, and it can make a healthy pancake with it.
So you just put this in here. I salt and pepper to taste after I do this, so right before I put it in there. But you can put the salt and pepper in here before you go ahead and blend it. I don't want to blend it too much because then it gets really foamy, but you're really just kind of trying to break up those curds a little bit. So we're going to use turkey bacon in some of these. We don't have to use it in all of them. The main reason we're using this is it's a little bit lower in fat. It's also higher in sodium. So if you prefer regular bacon, use regular bacon. If you want to use ham, use ham. You don't have to put meat in it at all. It kind of makes it look a little fun and it adds a little protein to it. I'm a turkey bacon fan. So when I see a recipe that has turkey bacon, I always know that that's something I can get my kids to eat too. So we have a love of bacon in my house. Who doesn't?
I don't. I have high blood pressure, bacon.
We're not picky. We like all the bacon.
No, they did.
So you just kind of put these in here, kind of to the side. You want it to poke up for a little. That's mostly for aesthetic purposes. Yeah. It doesn't really make a difference if you put it all the way down on the bottom.
I was wondering because it looked like it could pick up easier because it's there. So it's just aesthetic.
It's just prettier.
Oh, okay.
Like a full hat.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here like,
just prettier.
You could have just went with it, like, yeah.
Yeah, totally. No, it's really just prettier. So we're gonna do one pan that has the turkey bacon in it. And then I'm going to let you guys choose from the vegetables we have. So we chopped up a lot of vegetables over here. So we have a few different options. We have some chives, we have spinach, we've got feta cheese, and we have cheddar cheese. We have some chopped red peppers, onions, and zucchini and squash. We chopped all of those ahead of time just for time's sake. But I'm going to show you how we chopped them, just small pieces. They don't have to be really large because you're putting them in here. You don't have to put vegetables in. I like to put vegetables in, but you don't have to. I'm a big fan of spinach and feta, so that's usually how I make mine. Those are the peppers. Yes, those are the best peppers.
Okay.
Yeah. and I said onions, right?
Yeah, onions
so
up there.
these are going to be the same vegetables we're going to use in our pesto chicken as well. So that's where we say, like, we can prep this once, and then we can make several different dishes out of this. These same vegetables that we're going to use in the pesto chicken, where you could also use in a pasta salad. So all of these are summer vegetables, so they don't have to be cooked. I often, with my family, just chop these up, put them in a big bowl, put some pepperoni or something like that, chunked pepperoni, some kind of cheese, and it really generally depends on what cheese I have in the refrigerator. So you could use a cheddar cheese, you could use mozzarella, right? So you can use whatever cheese you want, toss it with your favorite kind of pasta, and now you've got a pasta salad that you can have for a few days. We do have a recipe that we were going to send to you, right, that, again, uses all of these same vegetables. And for the pasta salad, you can make your own dressing. I like to make my own when I can, but honestly, you don't have to make your own dressing. Look for your favorite kind of dressing, pour it on there, mix it up, let it marinate for a day or two, and like I said, the longer it marinates, the better it is. But so now for about 4 days, you have pasta salad that you can grab really quickly, either for dinner or for lunch. So we're going to go through this. We're going to do these first, and then we'll get to the chicken, and then we'll taste everything, all right? So what would you guys like to put in these? I'm like, yes.
She's like, food.
Spinach. Let's do spinach and feta. Okay. Feta cheese or no? No cheese?
You don't like feta
Cheddar
cheese?
cheese. Okay.
Cheddar cheese?
With bacon or no bacon? No bacon. Okay.
So they want,
All the bacon.
I know, right? See, I would be doing all the bacon.
they're not bacon people?
I am bacon, but I don't want the bacon with the spinach. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I get that.
I got you.
So we're going to fill these to about halfway full. You don't want to go all the way up. It's okay if you go a little bit above that, no worries. But you want to leave plenty of room for putting your vegetables or whatever you're putting in it. So you don't want to go all the way to the top because they'll overflow. And then we're going to put them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes. And then they're ready to go. Before you put them in your refrigerator, make sure that you let them cool for a few minutes. The reason for that is when you put really hot things into your refrigerator, you bring the temperature of your refrigerator up, and now you're actually not keeping things as cold as you want to keep them. So
Is that the reason?
that is the reason. So same thing, if you're going to make a soup ahead of time, make sure you cool that soup down before you put it in there. Because also what happens with a soup is that once you put it in the refrigerator, it's going to cool the outside first, and it's not going to cool that inside. So potentially it could be in the temperature danger zone too long, because it actually may take it a while before that inner part gets cool enough. So that's why we cool it down beforehand, so that we know we have a really consistently cool product before we put it in the refrigerator. These don't have to be breakfast. So the wonderful thing about egg bites is that they're really high protein. And once we added the cottage cheese in there, we really bumped that protein up a lot. So you can put anything in these. You can put vegetables in them. You can put different types of meat in them. You could put sausage. You could put bacon. You could put whatever. They're really versatile. Generally at the coffee shop, you're going to get 1 or 2 different flavors. So you can let your imagination run wild in these. Whatever you like in your eggs, you can put in an egg bite. So we want a cheddar cheese. I'm going to wash my hands first.
Go ahead. And the
Yes,
thing about
please.
cheese, and this is just a personal preference. I like block cheese and shredded. It just tastes better for me. I don't know why. I mean, of course you can buy shredded cheese because it's quicker and faster. But I do like shredding my cheese.
Is there a different taste to it?
I don't know. Maybe it's in my head. Like I
that's
said, it's a
fine.
personal preference. It feels like it is. Yeah. But that's a
And just
personal preference.
another safety tip quickly, anytime you're working with meat, make sure you wash your hands in between that and touching anything else. Any kind of meat, pork, chicken, anything, always make sure that you're keeping your hands washed.
Gotta have
So
different
here's
colors,
what I
different
like.
things.
I am a big spinach and feta fan, obviously. I also really like to do, I'm not, like you, I'm not a big onion fan. I don't love onions in my eggs.
Me neither.
It makes me think of the movie Uncle Buck, which you guys probably do not know at all, but every time I hear it, I hear the little 10-year-old boy going, he put onions in the eggs. I think he's cooking our garbage. So can't help it. Not a big onion fan in them, but I do like red peppers. I do really like zucchini and squash in mine. Right.
You tried.
It's one of those things you love it or you don't.
Have
you
you
know.
tried it? Grill it? Grill it?
Have you tried it as noodles? Have you roasted it?
She sound like green eggs and hams.
Tried it on a fish?
It's on the boat. Yeah.
All right. I have some chives here. All right, so we're gonna do some with some zucchini and squash. And we'll do some with some red pepper.
So they're apples.
Red pepper with onion or not with onion? All right, we'll do both. The main thing you want to make sure of is that a lot of vegetables can be, as they cook, put a lot of liquid out. So, dry them when you can. These are actually really dry, so they're not a problem. Put some onions in here. We'll make these the everything.
Could tomato be an ingredient for
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
I did
Oh, that
not
would've been
bring
nice.
tomatoes,
We
but
should've brought-
actually
we should-
spinach and tomato is really good together. Yes, we put them in the oven, and they'll be in there for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
You'll kind of know they'll get a little bit brown on top. You don't want
Really
them to
don't
get
like
too
putting
brown.